7 years after releasing Hardwired to Self Destruct, heavy metal legends Metallica broke the internet in November 2022 by announcing their upcoming studio album, 72 Seasons, accompanied by the monstrous lead single, Lux Aeterna. The 10th album from the thrash titans, 72 Seasons, is one of the most anticipated releases in rock this year. And as the release date of the new album draws near, fans are waiting to have some of their questions about the album answered. What will it sound like? Why the title 72 Seasons? What's behind the artwork? And how can a band nearing its senior years make something that still sounds heavy and powerful? Keep watching as we go behind the scenes and uncover some interesting details behind Metallica's upcoming new album in anticipation of its release. Metallica chose an interesting title for their new album that launched thousands of theories as to what it may mean. But before the assumptions get way out of hand, frontman James Hetfield offered an explanation behind the album title. According to Papa Het, the title refers to the first 18 years of our lives that form our true or false selves, the concept that we were told who we are by our parents, a possible pigeonholing around what kind of personality we are. I think the most interesting part of this in the continued study of those core beliefs and how it affects our perception of the world today. If a year equals 4 seasons, then the math definitely adds up to 72 seasons in 18 years. James further expounded on the title's origin in a video, saying he came across it while checking out a book on childhood, explaining how the first 18 years of one's life is crucial to forming one's beliefs and personality. He then asks, how do you evolve and grow and mature and develop your own ideas and identity of self after those first 72 seasons? When Metallica announced 72 Seasons in late November last year, it did so in a huge way. And not only did they tell the world that a new album is inbound, but gifted fans with the album's lead single at the same time. Lux Aeterna, accompanied by the announcement of 72 Seasons. Fast, hard, heavy, and undoubtedly old-school Metallica, it set a high standard for the album as a whole. But what is this song about? Well, first off, the title is a Latin phrase meaning eternal light. It's been used in many pieces of art, but is best known as a communion chant for Catholic requiem masses. Several music pieces have taken inspiration from this phrase and used it as a title, including music from the films 2001: A Space Odyssey and Requiem for a Dream. Judging from its Catholic origins, it would appear that the phrase is often used for music dedicated to the dead. Then again, Metallica's Lux Aeterna sounds nothing like an ode to the deceased. If anything, it's a roaring call to arms. In January, Metallica released the second single off the new album, Screaming Suicide. It's perhaps one of the band's most thoughtful and mature songs lyrically, given that it addresses a sensitive topic. As James Hetfield puts it, the intention is to communicate about the darkness we feel inside. It's ridiculous to think we should deny that we have these thoughts. At one point or another, I believe most people have thought about it. To face it is to speak the unspoken. If it's a human experience, we should be able to talk about it. You are not alone. A black and white music video was made for this song, directed by Tim Sassenti. The video's description on YouTube includes links and hotline numbers to agencies for those who are struggling with these issues. Given the release of 72 Seasons, it's safe to assume that Metallica recorded the album while in quarantine. In an April 2020 interview, a month after the pandemic exploded, drummers Lars Ulrich stated that the band could work on their next album remotely. In an interview with The Vinyl Guide a couple of months later, bassist Robert Trujillo expounded on the experience of working remotely, saying, "What we've started is basically just really concentrating on our home studios and being creative from our homes and navigating through ideas and building on new ideas." In a March 2021 interview, James Hetfield added, "It's either touring or writing, so COVID chose for us." While Metallica commenced production on 72 Seasons, they were introduced to a new generation of fans in mid-2022. The 4th season of the Netflix hit series Stranger Things featured the band's song Master of Puppets in one of its climactic scenes. As a result, the song climbed in the US and UK charts again 36 years after its release. However, because of the band's revitalized popularity, some woke Stranger Things fans decided to be offended by the regrettably problematic things Metallica did way back when. TikTok user Serena Trueblood, known on TikTok as Is Your Fave Problematic, compiled clips of the band from years ago, such as the band joking about the death of Kurt Cobain, mocking the addiction issues of Lane Staley, and former bassist Jason Newsted seemingly doing a Sieg Heil salute. The TikToker also accused James Hetfield of being a racist with a clip of Axl Rose, suggesting that the band Body Count, which rapper Ice-T fronts, was booted from the Guns N' Roses and Metallica co-headlining tour in 1991 due to James. The TikTok video was received negatively, with many decrying how some of the younger fans who Metallica welcomed and defended from gatekeepers are now the same fans trying to cancel them. 72 Seasons concept artwork stands out for its bright yellow colors, and the man responsible is one of Metallica's old collaborators. David Turner, a friend of Lars, came up with a visual concept for 72 Seasons along with his branding team. This isn't the first time Turner worked with Metallica. He was also behind the artwork for the band's 2008 album Death Magnetic. In an interview, Turner said that Lars became fascinated with his team's work and how they handle logos and branding, especially for brands like Coca-Cola and Motorola. Impressed, Lars recruited his team to work on the artwork for Metallica's releases. Turner might not be one of metal's most known artists, but with a portfolio full of globally known brands, he's certainly capable of delivering. For this album, Metallica partnered again with producer Greg Fidelman, who worked with the band on their previous album, Hardwired To Self Destruct. Fidelman worked with the band as an audio engineer and mixer on the Rick Rubin-produced album Death Magnetic, and then became co-producer for the next album. Aside from producing credits on Metallica's recent albums, he was also the producer for bands like Slayer and Slipknot. He was also an engineer for artists such as the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Audioslave, Marilyn Manson, and even the likes of Johnny Cash and Adele, so his resume is pretty diverse. In 2014, lead guitarist Kirk Hammett lost his phone where he stored hundreds of riff ideas. Unfortunately, he had no backup, so he was unable to contribute musically to the album Hardwired to Self Destruct. It was the first time Kirk didn't contribute to a Metallica album since 1983's Kill 'Em All, whose riffs and solos were mostly written by former lead guitarist Dave Mustaine. This time, though, Kirk came ready. In an interview with Blabbermouth, the guitarist said, "I have a ton of material. I've overcompensated, so I'm ready to go anytime." Metallica may be heavy metal legends, but with the difficulty of many of their songs, especially the fast ones, even they struggle keeping up sometimes. In a clip that takes viewers behind the scenes of the Lux Aeterna music video, bassist Robert Trujillo comments that the song's arrangement was different months prior, and that he's been challenged with the changes. He then apparently discusses with the cameraman doing another take for a few sections of the song. That's Robert Trujillo, Metallica's bassist and one of the finest bass players in the world today. Just goes to show that Metallica won't be going easy in this new record. This is quite a bold claim, especially if your catalog includes albums such as Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning, and Master of Puppets, but drummer Lars believes that 72 Seasons is their best album. In an interview with Classic Rock magazine, Lars said this will be their heaviest, coolest, and best record to date. He added, "If it wasn't because we thought that the best record was still ahead of us, then why keep doing it?" To be fair, Lars has a point. Metallica's never been a band that felt comfortable resting on their laurels, and at their age, they're still going strong. So perhaps Lars is right. Maybe 72 Seasons is their best album yet, but ultimately, that question will be answered when the record hits shelves in April.